and gentlemen, this promises to be an absolute power pack of a session. It is my absolute honor to introduce three extraordinary storytellers whose works have captivated hearts and minds across diverse mediums. Today they come together to talk about the innovating topic, mind games and dark tools, exploring the psychology of thrillers. First, we have Manoj Rajan Tripathi, a literary and cinematic powerhouse, mind behind acclaimed books like Code Kakori and Kasari Masari, published by Westlife Publications. Manoj has also given us memorable dialogues from the blockbuster Atini Tum Kab Jaoge. Part 2. His creative genius extends to CTV's celebrated show Swan Shell High, and his upcoming web series and films to promise more magic. Joining him is Shatrujit Nath, the brilliant mind who imagines mythology and espionage from his gripping debut. Apologies for that. The Karachi Deception, the best-selling epic Vikramaditya Veer Gatha series, published by Jaiko Publishing. Shatrujit crafts tales that keeps readers on the edge of their seats. His latest, Warlord of Ayodhya, Resurrection, is yet another testament to his storytelling prowess. A former journalist, he now lends his creativity to movies and web series, proving that thrillers truly runs in his veins. Finally, we have Malika Ravikumar, a lawyer turned writer whose pen champions young minds. From the award-winning M4 series of legal mysteries to 565, a gripping retelling of India's unification, her work, published by Hachette, blends history and intrigue seamlessly. And when she's not writing, she's nurturing her passion for nature through a YouTube channel. Adding depth to this discussion is our esteemed moderator, Supanta Bhattacharya, professor at the PG Department of English, Islam College, a stalwart in the world of literature and education. Supanta, sir, will guide today's conversation, ensuring we delve into the nuances of thrillers and the psychological intricacies. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our panelists on stage. And just for everyone's information, this is a 40-minute long session. Thank you. Can we please have the citation speak?
Welcome everyone to our panel discussion on the captivating world of thrillers. We are here to explore the minds of the masterminds behind some of the most gripping and suspenseful stories. Thrillers, as we know, have a unique ability to transport us to dark and twisted worlds, where the lines between good and evil are often blurred, and the unsuspecting lurks around every corner. Today we'll be exploring the psychological underpinnings of these narratives, the techniques authors employ to manipulate our emotions, and the enduring appeal of these suspenseful tales. Joining us today are three incredibly talented writers. Ms. Malika Ravikumar, Mr. Shatrujit Nath, and Mr. Manoj Rajan, all of whom have journeyed into the devious, distorted universe of thrillers. And together they are going to share with us some of their insights into the craft of writing thrillers, the psychology of suspense, and the allure of the unknown. So, let's dive into the dark and mysterious world of thrillers. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Manoj sir has written two absolutely edge-of-the-seat thrillers called Code Kakuri and Kasari Masari. Shatrujit sir has written one thriller so far, but he has promised to give us more. He's right now into what is called mythological fantasies, and maybe he'll talk about it a little later. And he has written The Karachi Deception. And Malika ma'am, she has written, she's the Enid Blyton of India. She has written mysteries, the M4 mysteries, where 4 kids, Meera, Malhar, Mirchi and the dog Munna, alright, they come together and they solve mysteries. She has written 2 so far, the case of the vanishing gods and the case of the missing turtles. First question to all my panelists. When we were growing up, my generation, we read writers like Alistair MacLean, Desmond Bagley, and later, of course, everybody went through a Robert Ludlum phase. So my first question is, which thrillers did you 3 grow up reading? And which writers do you still admire in the genre? Malika ma'am, you first. Yeah, sure. Favorite writers and who influenced you?
Okay. So in terms of thriller, or generally my favorite writer is Ken Follett. He's a British writer and he writes a lot of thrillers. He also writes historical thrillers, which is what I like, historical fiction, historical thrillers, and he's written 1 work of non-fiction, which I think inspired me to write this thriller, 565, which we are here to talk about. This is also non-fiction and it is a thriller, it's written in a thriller format. So Ken Follett wrote a very, he writes, most of his work is fiction, but he wrote 1 book on Iran, where there is an Iranian revolution of 1979 and an American company which was led by Ross Perot. He had his people in Iran and he actually sent a private militia to get his employees out of Iran when the revolution was taking place. And he wrote this book. It was written like a thriller, but it's non-fiction. It was all true. And it inspired me and made me realize that you can write non-fiction like a fictional thriller. And I learned so much about the Iranian Revolution, Ayatollah Khomeini and all these things. I was in college at that time. I didn't know this world. It was a very different world.
Larry Collins, Dominic Lapierre, they have also tried this.
This sort of, like the Bhopal, 5 past midnight.
Oh, Jerusalem.
Oh, Jerusalem, oh, Calcutta. All these historical books they write. But they do add a lot of masala in it as well. But I think Ken Follett he's a very research-based writer. His research is extremely thorough, and I think so. To answer your question, he is and the book is called On Wings of Eagles. It's a non-fiction thriller by Ken Follett. So that was the one thing I had in mind when I crafted my non-fiction.
And in your growing up years?
Yeah, this was college. I was reading Ken Follett from college, and he's still, fortunately, he's in his 80s or almost 90, but he's still writing. Yes. Great writer.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The first kind of thriller the adult thriller that I read was probably Alistair MacLean. Forced in from Neverland was my first Alistair MacLean book that I read, then eventually went on to read it. He's written some really good books and he's written some very bad books. He's done both. So, Alistair MacLean is a recommendation that I'll give with the caveat that he can be very bad as well. But my favorite, while growing up, as you said, Ludlum was one big influence. But more than Ludlum, actually, my bigger influence was Frederick Forsyth. The Day of the Jackal is, to my mind, one of the most fascinating stories. Frederick Forsyth and John le Carre. John le Carre, particularly, there's a book called The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. It is, in many ways, the inspiration for the Karachi Deception. I just love the world of the spy world that he has kind of created, which is very opposite from James Bond. The James Bond world is, it's all about glitz and glamour and all of that. I think James Bond is the worst spy under the sun because he walks into the room and everyone knows he's James Bond. So I don't know how he's a spy. I mean, that's the stupidest thing you can think of. But immensely successful. But John le Carre was the opposite. It's the most insignificant person in the room is the spy. And I thought, that is really the spy format that you play with. You play with, readers' assumptions. I'll come back. So a little bit like Joseph Conrad. So yes, I think definitely these two were inspirations when it came to, the kind of story I wanted to tell through Karachi Deception. What it is like to be the world of espionage, where, nothing is what it seems, no loyalties, there is treachery everywhere. Nobody is a friend, everyone is an enemy. That's the kind of space. So that's really was my inspiration.
Manoj sir, influences and अभी भी कौन से thrillers?
If you talk about last 20 years, अगर आप 20 साल की बात करेंगे तो Stephen King is my favorite.
Stephen King is God.
उनकी राइटिंग का सबसे खास पहलू मुझे ये लगता है कि वो ये नहीं सोचते कि उन्हें क्या लिखना है. वो ये सोचते हैं जो मैं लिख रहा हूँ वही सही. Even you go for Silver Bullet or you go for anything. Secondly, a tagline with Agatha Christie, who done it? It's a good idea, but अच्छा लगता है मुझे. लेकिन आप पूछेंगे कि मैं थ्रिल कहाँ पे? थ्रिल किसी को पढ़ना एक तरीका है और किसी को पढ़ के थ्रिल हो जाना ये दूसरा तरीका है. तो I started with Mughal Kal when Akbar was ruling the country and conversion was on its peak. Conversion बहुत पीक पर था उस समय. उस वक्त बनारस में एक राइटर बैठा था जिस राइटर ने किताब लिखी. वो किताब लिखी, उसमें कैरेक्टर खड़ा किया उसने, और उस कैरेक्टर को खड़ा करने में उसकी किताब से पता लगा कि माइंड गेम एंड ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न होते क्या है. दैट इज तुलसीदास. अब आप सोचेंगे कि ये किताब थ्रिलिंग कैसे हो सकती है, तो केकई वाज द फर्स्ट जिसने माइंड गेम खेला और वहां से वो थ्रिल में डेवलप होना शुरू हुई. देन कम टू दैट गोल्डन डियर मारीच, दैट वाज अ माइंड गेम ऑफ रावण. रावण ने वहां से किया, तो मैं वहां से सेम विद महाभारत, सेम विद महाभारत. तो मैं ये ठीक है, आज की तारीख में इसको धर्म ग्रंथ बोलते हैं कि हाँ इनको पढ़ना चाहिए, पर मैंने वहां से समझा एक राइटर का, वो समझा क्राइम थ्रिल ये कहीं से भी आ सकता है. धीमे धीमे ग्रो अप हुआ तो मुझे लगा ये स्टाइल ऑफ राइटिंग स्टीफन किंग इज बेस्ट फॉर मी. एंड व्हेन यू टॉक, अगर आप बात करेंगे तो स्टाइल ऑफ प्रेजेंटिंग इज डेविड फिंचर. डेविड फिंचर इज द बेस्ट. आप समझ नहीं सकते कि क्या साइकोलॉजी है उस आदमी की, क्या चार कैरेक्टर्स को एक साथ खड़ा करता है. और जब तक कैरेक्टर आपको थ्रिल नहीं करते और हर कैरेक्टर की एक बैक स्टोरी नहीं होती है, तब तक ना थ्रिल होता है ना माइंड गेम होता है. तो इट्स मोस्टली ऑल कैरेक्टर्स एंड देन
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. My second question is, how do you explain this perpetual appeal of thrillers? And there's a corollary to this. Why do readers across generations, why do readers continue to be drawn to these dark psychological pathways?
I think it's an innate human thing of, you know, if some puzzle is presented before you, if let's say there's a jigsaw puzzle and you're just passing by, you don't have much time, but दो मिनट में मिल जाए तो you will try कि थोड़ा मैं कर लूँ to solve it. I think there is this programming in our head that if somebody tells you half a story, you know, पता है कल क्या हुआ, I saw Deepika Padukone with, and then you can't finish the story. You want to know who was Deepika Padukone with, किसके साथ थी. It doesn't matter to my life what difference does it make किसके साथ, but you want to know the end of that sentence. So I think there is a programming in our head. We are a storytelling animal, as somebody once defined human beings as storytelling animal. You want the closure, you want the puzzle to be solved. I think that would probably explain when you give a mystery, or end that you want to know कि क्या होता है, how it turns. Yeah, so probably that human programming is innate to us.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because I think by nature we are very curious people. You know, we are very easily distracted. So as social media has proved it, you know, like you set out to you pick up your phone to send a WhatsApp message, and half an hour later you haven't sent the message, but you are somewhere else. You know, you are in Instagram or I don't know, wherever you are. So we are very easily distracted. You're walking down the road and you know 4 people are looking at something and you have forgotten. You want to go and see what is happening there. You know, we are just curious. I think the fact that we are drawn to stories itself, and it doesn't matter whether it's a thriller. I mean, thriller is a tadka that you put on top of stories. So thriller, in fact, is something, as I was telling Malika, I don't even see it as a genre. I see it as a mechanism. It's a pacing technique. It's a treatment. Because as I was telling, you can have a medical thriller, you can have a legal thriller, you can have a romantic thriller, you can have a fantasy thriller, horror thriller, dark, whatever, you know. So I think what thrillers really manage doing is they're able to, you know, incite that curiosity, and you know, and that's really what I think, you know, we all authors do at, you know, different levels of competency and talent. What we keep doing is we keep dangling hooks. That's what we do. You know, the favorite term today when you go into any you know, whether you go to Netflix or Amazon, is what is your cliffhanger? What is the cliffhanger for that episode? We have had cliffhangers in books forever. I don't know why they wake up. They've probably not read enough books. They wake up as if Netflix has invented the word cliffhanger. No, books from the time of Wilkie Collins in Moonstone, which is probably, yeah, correct. I think Moonstone is defined as probably the first thriller ever written. I mean, he's had hooks and cliffhangers through his book. So I think innately we've always had that, and as long as you know how to play with that, you just keep, you know, it's like dragging and bringing.
Even the mainstream writer like Dickens, he would end his chapters with
Yeah,
serials.
absolutely,
Cliffhanger.
absolutely, absolutely. Whether it's Satyajit Ray, whether it is Kalki, the serialized storytelling format which was adapted by newspapers and magazines in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s was all based on the fact that what will happen next. That's the structure of a thriller.
Actually, मुझे जैसा लगता है कि even it's an empty dining table और it's an empty kitchen. अगर ये पूरी डाइनिंग टेबल भरी हुई है, पूरा किचन भरा हुआ है, ये खाली हो या भरा हो, एक सॉल्ट टेबल पर जरूर रहता है. तो maybe it's about mechanism, maybe it's about thrust of thrilling, but I think it's all about sodium. I think everybody wants a thrill. आप अखबार पढ़ेंगे तो मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को देखा है कि वो क्रॉसवर्ड्स they thrill.
So basically you are saying it adds spice to our very humdrum.
दुनिया की सबसे छोटी स्क्रिप्ट है, एक था राजा एक थी रानी, दोनों मर गए, खत्म कहानी. तो अगर इसमें राजा और रानी लास्ट में मरते हैं तो इसका मतलब उनके बच्चे अच्छे से फले फूले हैं, हैप्पी एंडिंग है. इट्स अ ड्रामा. एक था राजा एक थी रानी, इसमें राजा ने रानी को धोखा दे दिया तो इट्स अ थ्रिल. रानी ने राजा को धोखा दिया, इट्स अ थ्रिल. और राजा और रानी दोनों ही जवान होकर मर गए, इट्स अबाउट लव स्टोरी. तो लव स्टोरी एंड ड्रामा के बाद जो कुछ भी है वो थ्रिल है. आई थिंक सो. आप सुशांत सिंह की सोसाइटी देख लीजिए. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट मीडिया. मीडिया पे नहीं जाता हूं, लेकिन उन लोग वो एक स्टोरी ऐसी होती है जो आपको उसके व्हाट्स पर ले जाती है. क्या हुआ होगा, क्यों आत्महत्या की, अच्छा आत्महत्या भी की होगी तो क्यों की होगी, कैसे की होगी. तो मुझे लगता है कि थ्रिल जो है और क्राइम है या यू से सस्पेंस जो है, ये सबसे ज्यादा कंज्यूमेबल आइटम है फॉर अ रीडर. और शायद इसको समझ के ही आप लिख पाती हैं, शायद इसको समझ के हम भी लिख पाते हैं. तो वही समझ के लिखते हैं. अभी अब अगला सवाल आएगा तो उस पर बताऊंगा कि मैंने क्यों कहानियां लिखी.
My next question is, how should an author manipulate? I mean, as authors, I'd like a very honest answer from all of you. How should an author manipulate the reader's emotions to create a sense of suspense and anticipation? Basically, my question is, what techniques do you employ to make sure that your reader is kept engaged, cover to cover?
Please. आप एंकर कर देते हैं ना.
Okay, so manipulate seems like a very harsh word. Would not like to think that authors are manipulating readers. But yes, maneuver is a better thing. So there are many techniques. Of course, some of them I spoke about in my morning workshop on how to write mysteries. So by, for example, giving false leads, giving false clues, giving what is called red herrings, or foreshadowing, where you tell the reader more than what the protagonist knows. The protagonist thinks he's going in the right direction, but you mislead. You know that, and you tell the reader. The writer tells the reader that so and so walked into the house, but he did not know that this was going to be his last hour, like something like that. So the protagonist doesn't know that, but you and the reader know that. So you foreshadow it. So the reader will then turn the page to know what happens in the next hour. So these cliffhangers, as he mentioned. So there are many techniques that authors would use to maneuver the emotions of the, and most important is to keep them reading from page to page. So this foreshadowing and giving misleading clues, emotions. I think the most important thing in fiction. Of course, we think fiction is a story and non-fiction is reality. But I think fiction, the most important thing is emotion. There should be an emotional roller coaster. You feel hope, you feel disappointment, you feel anger, you feel hatred, whatever you feel. That emotional roller coaster is what makes fiction so enjoyable. And when you add that element in non-fiction, that's why it's called creative non-fiction, because you add the emotional element in non-fiction. So I think when you relate to it emotionally, because all of us are emotional beings, I think to tap into that fear, for example, or danger, when there's lurking danger, you also feel the same thing that the protagonist feels. We all want to survive, we all want to be successful, we all want to live a happy life, and so you relate to that emotion in the story. So I think that is what authors tap into when you're writing thrillers.
I have a specific question for you two. So your Karachi reception was had a very international feel to it. I mean, as you said, not exactly James Bond, but James Bondish. and आपकी जो first book थी Code Kakori, that had a time traveling kind of thing, past, present, mixing. So how do you maintain the balance? वो suspense को भी you have to retain, and the geographical and the historical data that you provide to the reader. So there is the danger कि वो while walking the tightrope कभी भी आप या वो historical बन जाएगा या geographical description बहुत ज़्यादा और suspense gets neglected. How do you maintain this delicate balance?
सर कराची से शुरू करते हैं।
आप कराची से शुरू करते हैं। तो हकीकत ये है, वैसे बता रहा हूँ, जब कराची की जो because it was a geopolitical thriller, इसमें मुझे बहुत research करनी पड़ी. I did a lot of research on Pakistan basically because the story is actually 60-70% of the story is set in Pakistan. It starts in India but it ends in Pakistan. So अब मैंने इतनी रिसर्च किया, अब जर्नलिस्ट था मैं, इतनी रिसर्च की है, ये सब मैंने किताब में जो रेलेवेंट हो नहीं हो सब कुछ डाल दिया मैंने उसमें. My first draft was 1,50,000 words, 1,40,000 words. तो उसमें जब मेरे बीटा रीडर्स को मैंने जब कहा why don't you take a look and let me know, they all told me one thing. They said your story is very good. It takes forever to get there because I have put so much of unnecessary information. So that what you are talking about right now, that how do you play this balancing game between fact, suspense, fiction, and the narrative and the pace. This is a very valid point in terms of navigating. How do you, is this fact relevant to the story or not? I think that's really what it all comes down to. Is this relevant to the story? Is this of importance to the reader? Should the reader know this? If the reader doesn't need to know it, there is no point in putting it. The height of Nanda Devi is so and so 1,000 square meters. How is that relevant to my story? If it is not relevant, it is not relevant. If it is relevant because that guy is going to break a world record by 1 foot, now it is relevant to my story. So I think that is really what it's all about, navigating the space of how much of research material that I've got do I use for the benefit of the story. Ultimately, if it is right for the story, you do it. If it's not, so we don't write stories, we write stories for ourselves. That's why we start writing a story. Because we want to entertain ourselves. But ultimately, it's the readers who have to read it. And if it's not right for them, it doesn't work. They are the ultimate parameter.
Manoj sir, history and suspense, कैसे?
एक्चुअली ऐसा है कि लखनऊ के पास एक जगह है मोहनलालगंज, वहां पे एक महिला की एक औरत की बॉडी मिली थी 30 to 32 years and that was total naked. वहां पर जो आजकल मोबाइल का जमाना है, सब उसका फोटो खींच रहे थे और पुलिस भी वहां खड़ी थी, उसको बॉडी को कवर नहीं किया. Firstly, I got that photo as a journalist and I forwarded it to that DGP of उत्तर प्रदेश. मेरा फोटो भेजने का सिर्फ उनको मतलब ये था कि एक औरत की बॉडी को ढका क्यों नहीं गया. बट वहां से मुझे एक चीज समझ में आई कि औरत जब कपड़ों में होती है तो भी आदमी झांक लेता है. वो जब औरत कपड़ों में नहीं थी, a man's word was talking, tasting that body shape. From that very body, I got an idea कि मैं इस बॉडी पर एक कहानी लिखूंगा. इट्स ए इमोशनल स्टोरी. तो मैं उस कहानी को लेके पहुंचता हूं काकोरी. काकोरी इज ए प्लेस. अगर आप किसी भी वर्ल्ड मेन्यू में चले जाएं, यहां से लेके मैक्सिस स्क्वायर तक, यू विल गेट काकोरी कबाब. Have you heard about that? In 1921, Kakori kebab invented in Kakori. In 1924, चंद्रशेखर आजाद, राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल, अशफाक उल्लाह खां, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, इन लोगों ने मिलकर हिंदुस्तान रिपब्लिकन एसोसिएशन बनाई और ट्रेन लूटी एक डाउन लखनऊ सहारनपुर पैसेंजर. वहां पे 8,000 रुपए थे केवल, ज्यादा नहीं थे, 8,000 रुपए थे. वो 8,000 रुपए लूटे क्योंकि स्वीडन में एक ट्रेन रॉबरी हुई थी, वो भी क्रांतिकारी थी और उसी से इंस्पायर होके इन्होंने ये किया. तो इट्स ऑल अबाउट 1921 and 24. नाउ कम टू टुडेज काकोरी. काकोरी इज द बिगेस्ट क्रैकर सप्लायर ऑफ नॉर्थ इंडिया. काकोरी इज द बिगेस्ट चिकन कारी है, चिकन का कुर्ता पहनते होगे आप लोग. इट्स द बिगेस्ट सप्लायर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. नूरजहां लाई थी उनको वहां पे, जहांगीर नूरजहां. वो लाई थी अपनी एक बांदी को, उन्होंने चिकन का काम शुरू किया था। काकोरी, सबसे बड़ी बात है कि काकोरी नाम का एक क्रेटर मंगल ग्रह पे, मार्स पे, वो वर्ल्ड मेरे सामने आया और मेरे थॉट में वो बॉडी थी। उस बॉडी को लेके मैं हिस्ट्री में आता हूं, उस बॉडी को लेकर हिस्ट्री में आता हूं और एक कैरेक्टर क्रिएट करता हूं, भ्रष्ट गंदा आदमी, बट अ पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर इज नोन एज अशफाक उल्ला बिस्मिल। राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल और अशफाक उल्ला को मिला के बनाया अशफाक उल्ला बिस्मिल। उसका एक बेटा शेफ है तो वो काकोरी कबाब बनाता है, एक बेटा प्लेनेटरी साइंटिस्ट है, नासा में सेलेक्ट है, ही विल नेम अ क्रिएटर देयर। यहां से लाता हूं स्टोरी, कॉमेडी है, पूरी सस्पेंस है, थ्रिल है और एक बाप बेटे की इमोशनल स्टोरी है। तो मैंने 3 लेयर्स में उसको इसलिए रखा कि किसी को कॉमेडी पसंद आ रही है ना यूपी साइड की, देन गो फॉर कॉमेडी। आपको थ्रिल अच्छा लग रहा है, गो फॉर थ्रिल, और हिस्ट्री अच्छी लग रही है, देन गो फॉर हिस्ट्री। तो ये एक तरीका समझ में आया एंड इट्स आज का काकोरी है एंड इट्स ए हिस्टोरिकल थ्रिलर। तो दो आपने पूछा कि उसको लेके यहां कैसे आ गए, तो यहां ऐसे आया। उसके पीछे एक लास्ट लॉजिक केवल इतना है कि आज की जो यंग जनरेशन है, ये मेरे ख्याल से 58-60% है, इसको अगर आप गांधी जी बताने लगेंगे तो ये जवाई लेने लगेगी, नहीं सुनना चाहती है। इसको आपको गांधी जी तभी बता पाएंगे जब आप मुन्ना भाई बनेंगे, और मुन्ना भाई बनकर जब आप केमिकल लोचा बताएंगे तो ये गांधी के बारे में समझ लेंगे। आपको एक टीम क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी, भुवन कचरा सब कुछ मिला के आपको एक लगान क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा और तब बताना पड़ेगा कि ब्रिटिशर्स हम पर कैसे राज करके गए और हमने कैसे वो जीता। तो आज की जनरेशन को वो हिस्ट्री बताने के लिए मैंने ये तरीका चुना। तो दैट्स फाइन।
This is a, well, probably it sounds a little rude, but this is a social media generation. How, according to you, has the digital age influenced the way thrillers are written and consumed? And do you think technology has made it easier or more difficult to create suspense and thrill? Journalists, most of you have dabbled, I mean, career journalists, and you have dabbled in journalism.
Ladies always first.
So, social media, I don't know, but definitely the thrillers that are getting written or will get written will have a lot of this AI element, will have robots and have things that I don't understand, frankly, so I'm not going to be able to say much. But definitely futuristic stories will have these elements, and writers who are writing in the future will need to understand these things. Even crimes like hacking, for example, there's so much to it about how systems are hacked, and then how you, the investigator or whoever is on the other side, the protagonist, will need to beat the antagonist who's hacking the system. So these are things that will definitely be part of plots of thrillers in the future. Social media, I don't know how that has impacted, maybe they can throw light, but definitely it has had a role. The AI technology and the modern technology will have a role in how thrillers in the future will be written.
But now you can't bluff your readers, can you? I mean, it's like no matter any small detail can be verified instantly.
Oh yes, that definitely. If I'm writing a mystery, for example, the mysteries are written for young children. They don't have mobile phones. So when they're in a situation which is putting them in danger, you really feel that danger because they can't just call up somebody and say, mommy, I'm in trouble, get me out of this. But in a modern world where mobile technology is available, where forensic science is there, definitely it is that much more challenging for writers to factor that in and still make some situation dangerous. Because you have so many ways of getting out of danger now. So that definitely is a challenge that is posed to writers.
Yeah, I totally agree. See, one of the things is that you spoke about forensic science. Like Sherlock Holmes today would not be half as interesting. He did not, today when you have a crime scene, it's your pathologist and your forensics will virtually solve most of the problems. You don't need a detective to come in and actually solve it because, just scientifically a lot of crimes can just be proved. Okay, who's done it, who's not done it. There is no debate. If you've got DNA out there, then you've got DNA. You can't dispute that. So I think these actually do make writing those things a little bit more challenging, which means now you have to find new layers to write into. What I find actually interesting, and this is actually not connected to the way we write, but more the way writing is consumed. And I get asked this often. People tell me in today's generation, everyone is hooked onto their mobiles. So everyone, nobody's, there is supposing, people talk about shortened attention spans. So how do you sustain interest in books? That's the fundamental question. I completely disagree. Everyone knows about Game of Thrones. Okay, Game of Thrones comes after, one season comes after another 8 years. Okay, 6 years, 7 years. There is no flagging of interest. There is no distraction, no loss of attention. People are completely waiting for the next book to come out. I know for a fact that when I wrote the Vikramaditya Veergatha series, when my third book had come out and by then my fourth book was going to come out, I think once in 15 days I would get a random reader either getting in touch with me through Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Somehow they'll figure out where I am and say, sir, when is the fourth book coming out? Okay. This has got nothing to do with attention spans. I have got their attention. And that was also the time when pandemic had happened. So, there was a delay, but I told them that the book is going to be out in April. And then pandemic happened. So April, it didn't come out. It came out in, I think, November or December of that year. So, the fact that there is no loss in attention spans, as long as you're able to tell a good, fun, interesting, engaging, riveting story, people will line up and wait. No loss of attention. So, social media cannot do anything to good storytelling. Inversely, good storytelling can use social media to market itself.
Thanks for that very optimistic prediction. Manoj sir, what do you think?
I think when we are in an era, when we are talking about robocracy and robo-sapiens, अगर हम उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो ये AI and all this, हम किसी को डिच नहीं कर सकते. आज के रीडर को डिच नहीं कर सकते. Like in code काकोरी, coordinate dropping is the method of challenging in that book. तो मैंने कुछ कोऑर्डिनेट्स दिए बुरहान वानी का और इन सब लोगों के कोऑर्डिनेट्स दिए तमाम सारी जगहों पे. इवन दैट कहाँ पे हमला हुआ था कश्मीर में, बालाकोट एंड ऑल, वो सब कुछ है उसमें. लास्टली माय बुक एंड्स विद अ कोऑर्डिनेट. वही गांव का जो काकोरी का स्कूल है, सरकारी स्कूल, वहां एक बच्चा कहता है कि मुझे काकोरी का एड्रेस चाहिए. तो जो टीचर है वो एक कोऑर्डिनेट उसमें फीड करती है और जैसे इंटर दबाती है वो कोऑर्डिनेट जाकर खत्म होता है मार्स के उस क्रेटर में. माय स्टोरी एंड्स देयर, है ना. अभी आपने जो सोशल मीडिया की बात की, तो कोऑर्डिनेट किसी भी वक्त गूगल पे कोई चेक कर लेगा, किसी भी चीज में कोई जाकर देख लेगा. हाँ, दिस सोशल मीडिया एरा मार्केट करने में बहुत मजेदार चीज है, बहुत शानदार चीज है. आप इसको मार्केट कर सकते हैं, हम अपनी सेल बढ़ा सकते हैं. वी आर सेलर ऑल्सो. आई डोंट थिंक, मतलब आई कंप्लीटली मुझे नहीं मालूम कि कितने लोग इसको करते हैं. मुझे लगता है कि साहित्य को बेचने की बात बड़ी ऑर्थोडॉक्स जमाने में बड़ी खराब थ्योरी. यार अपनी किताब लिखते हो, किताब बेचते हो? नहीं सर, मैं किताब बेचता हूं. अगर मैं बेचूंगा तो नागपुर फेस्टिवल में कैसे आऊंगा? जानेगा कैसे कोई मुझे? भाई मुझे जानेंगे तभी तो बुलाएंगे ना सारा. तो वहां पर वो चीज ठीक लगती है. और मुझे लगता है लास्टली एक चीज कहना चाहूंगा, ये जो रील जनरेशन है, रील वाली 30 सेकेंड 20 सेकेंड, अब सर जो क्लिफ हैंगर हम एंड में करते हैं या आर्क जो एंड में छोड़ते हैं, मुझे इस चैलेंज ने एक नया तरीका दिया है. मैं अपने हर पेज को एक रील की तरह लिखने लगा हूं ताकि आप तुरंत उसको स्वैप करके नेक्स्ट पेज पे जाओ. समझ रहे सर आप? तो मेरी लास्ट लाइन एक पेज की एक क्लिफ हैंगर है फॉर द नेक्स्ट पेज. मैं बुक का क्लिफ हैंगर बाद में दूंगा, बट ये मुझे इस नई जनरेशन ने सिखाया है. सुन लो यार, 30 सेकंड में देख, बताना हो तो बताओ, नहीं बताना तो आगे बढ़ो. तो मैं कहता हूं कि 30 सेकंड में तुमको आगे बढ़ने नहीं दूंगा, मैं तुमको नया पन्ना एक नई रील की तरह दूंगा. कम विद मी, आई एम कमिंग विद यू, आई एम नॉट डिसोनिंग देम. इस जनरेशन को सर आप इस चीज को डिसोन करेंगे ना तो सबसे पहले आप डिसोन हो जाएंगे. पूरे दुनिया में किताबें खत्म हो रही हैं. इंग्लिश तो फिर भी जिंदा है, हिंदी तो और भी खत्म हो रही है. हम लोग तो सब संघर्ष कर रहे हैं वहां पे. लेकिन हाँ, हम आपके साथ हैं. जितने युवा लोग हैं हम आपकी तरह किताब लिखेंगे, आप चिंता मत करो. हमें आपसे आइडिया मिलता है.
Before I throw the session open to the house, one final question. Please tell the audience about your future projects. And one special question for Malika ma'am. How difficult or how easy it is to write mysteries for children? And how relevant it is in today's, again, social media driven world?
Yeah, when you're writing for children, there are certain things you have certain limitations, not in terms of ideas and themes. Of course, you can write about anything, even dark things. But in terms of vocabulary, one is the limitation. In terms of the size of your book, there is a limitation. And also in terms of, for example, 565 is a book for young adults and adults. But even then, my editor did have to cut back. So there is a chapter in this on Patiala in Punjab. Partition is the background of this story because it's set in 1947. And we all know it was a very gory, dark episode of our history. But because young readers would be reading this, my editor did ask me to cut back on several scenes and said this is too violent and you have to edit it down, to cut it down. Or even, the Maharajas and Nawabs, they are the protagonists of this book in some sense. So they had led very opulent lives, they had multiple mistresses.
Nothing very explicit.
Yes, very colorful lives. So I had to cut all that out because young readers are going to read this and they're in an impressionable age. But strangely, young readers read I see all kinds of things on social media.
Yes, yeah.
But in books, somehow people think books should be, because parents are making this decision to buy the book. The child doesn't have the money to buy the book. So the parent, it has to go through the filter of the parent or the grandparent before it gets to the child. So that challenge is definitely there. If you're writing for young readers, you have to be very conscious of what you're putting in. And unfortunately, Indian grandparents who are still buying books, and even some parents, have this idea that there should always be morals in the story. बच्चे सीखेंगे क्या? Values होने चाहिए, which I hope will change in your generation, because we read stories for entertainment, we watch movies for fun. There's no reason why a child should have values and morals in everything they do. They can also watch for fun and they should also read for fun. So a story can be entertaining without being moralistic and preachy. And I think young readers today don't like being, preached to. That in everything, तुमने इसमें से क्या सीखा? And what did you learn from this? What is the moral of the story? We used to have moral science as a separate subject when we were in school. I don't know if that is still happening today. Okay, so stories told without morals, which don't have, that is not the purpose or the focus of the story. That is important, which I think now young people writing for young readers are moving away from that. But still that overarching thing is there, because the people buying the books are parents and grandparents who have this conditioning in their head. So those challenges are there when you're writing and buying books for young readers.
What can we expect from you in the...
I have a book on a bunch of non-fiction, something that came out of this book. It's a story of Maqbool Sherwani, who is a young, revolutionary of Kashmir in 1947. Very few people know the story. Okay. So this is for young readers. Duckbill has a Songs of Freedom series where they write stories about freedom fighters for young readers, but lesser known stories. So Maqbool Sherwani is a hero of a 19-year-old who sacrificed his life, and he's a Kashmiri Muslim. And the reason I want the story to be told is because there are certain narratives, especially young people see a lot of things on social media and make up their mind and pass judgment on our freedom fighters and leaders, thinking that, and sometimes very insulting posts about them are put up, and you get swayed by what you see on social media. So it's, I think, important to tell these stories, to know the other side as well. So one is on Maqbool Sherwani, and I have a bunch of other books. Volume 3, the third book of the mysteries also is something I'm working on, and some other ideas as well.
Wonderful. Shatrujit, your next book, of course, is that in the series.
Before that, I must tell you what Malika was talking about. Indian parents have a return on investment policy when it comes to books. Here, I'm putting 100 rupees. Is my son going to clear the 10th examination? That is the only criteria. He wants to have fun. That context does not exist. Hopefully, the new generation will change. That's my sincere hope. But what I'm going to do next, honestly, I have to finish my next book. In fact, my publisher is sitting on my head right now and saying, where's the manuscript? I still haven't even started writing, and he's expecting it by the end of this month. I don't know how that's going to happen. That's not going to happen. Deadlines. So, but once I'm done with the mythological fiction series, which is the Bharat book, I actually want to get back to a thriller. That's a demand that a lot of people keep asking me, why don't I do, readers who have read Karachi Deception, why don't you do a sequel to that?
There should be a sequel, yeah.
Yeah, but my problem is that, I would rather have my readers saying, where is the sequel? Why don't you write the sequel? Rather than saying, why did you write the sequel? I don't want that situation happening, So unless I am 100% sure I've got a story as good as that, or hopefully better, I will not do a sequel. But I do want to do I'm also a big Stephen King fan. I'm also I love horror. I love dark psychological thrillers. So I do intend writing one of those. And very clearly, for the first time, because all my books so far, Vikramaditya, Bharat, or even Karachi Deception, where the hero is his name is Major Imtiaz Ahmad. They're all men. So my next, when I do the psychological thriller, the protagonist is going to be a woman who's in her 40s. So I want to do that. I think it's about time I did a story which had a powerful woman as at its end.
That's something to look forward to. Manoj sir, please tell our listener, our audience, something about your last book, Kasari Masari, and future project.
अभी जब आप दोनों लोग बात कर रहे हैं तो मुझे दो चीज समझ में आई। एक तो वो अनुपमा भी थ्रिल करता है लोगों को, बहुत थ्रिल करता है लोगों को, अरे बाप रे बाप अभी अगला क्या होने वाला है। और दूसरा एक चीज के लिए थैंक्स करता हूँ हम सभी लोगों को कि हम लोग काइन को ट्रोल तो नहीं लिखते कम से कम, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है। हालांकि वो भी बड़ा थ्रिल करता है लोगों को, तो उससे हटके कुछ लिखना है। कसारी मसारी, मेरे ख्याल से आप सब लोगों ने देखा होगा, यूपी में एक बहुत बड़ा माफिया था, अतीक अहमद नाम था उसका, और वो 4 बार एमएलए रहा है, 1 बार मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट रहा है। और इलाहाबाद में जब वो पुलिस के साथ था, मेडिकल उस पर गया था, वहीं पे आके 3 लोगों ने उसकी हत्या कर दी थी, और वो जर्नलिस्ट के बेस में थे। क्लासिक चीज ये थी कि इसके पीछे पूरा पॉलिटिकल सेटअप है। मेरी स्टोरी केवल 54 डेज पे है, जब वो साबरमती जेल से निकलता है और इलाहाबाद तक आता है, बस इतने के दौरान की वो स्टोरी है। हाउ लॉरेंस बिश्नोई आर्किटेक्टेड दैट मर्डर। जो लोगों ने उसे मारा था उनकी जेब में 900 रुपए नहीं थे, पर 9 लाख रुपए की जिगाना पिस्टल थी। एंड जिगाना पिस्टल इज नॉट अ पिस्टल कि आपने एक बार मारा और 1 गोली चल गई। एक बार आपने ट्रिगर किया, 9 गोली एक साथ चलती है। वो पिस्टल अतीक को मारने के लिए 3 आई थी। वेल्थर जिगाना, मेड इन टर्की, traveled to Azerbaijan, then Iran, then Pakistan, and drone dropping in India. They got training in Gurdaspur, ऊंचा टकला गांव, जहां पर उनको वो वाला वीडियो दिखाया गया जिसमें अफगानिस्तान के लाइन ऑफ पंजशीर, जिन पर तालिबान कब्जा नहीं कर पा रहा था, तो लाइन ऑफ पंजशीर वाज अहमद शाह। पूरा तालिबान पंजशीर पे कब्जा नहीं कर पा रहा था। देन एक CNN की टीम आई, 2 जर्नलिस्ट आते हैं, कैमरामैन आता है, क्रू आती है यूनिट, और अहमद शाह का इंटरव्यू चल रहा है। इसी बीच रिपोर्टर ने अपना बटन दबाया, सारे लोग ने बटन दबाया और सब उड़ गए। दे वर सुसाइड बॉम्बर्स ऑफ तालिबान। तो अतीक के मर्डरर्स को ये वीडियो दिखाया गया कि यू हैव टू किल हिम लाइक दैट। ये पूरे 3 अलग अलग स्पॉट्स थे जहां पे वो किलिंग हुई। तो कैसे वो किलिंग आई, एक चीज तो है कि किलिंग आई, एक चीज है कि किलिंग कराई कैसे, फिर जिन लोगों ने मारा उनका क्या होगा। तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट कसारी मसारी। व्हाट इज कसारी मसारी? कसारी मसारी इज ए जंगल देयर इन इलाहाबाद इन 1970, जहां अतीक पैदा हुआ और उसने पहला मर्डर किया। कसारी मसारी का वो जंगल कट गया, अब वहां पे रिहायश हो गई, मतलब रहने लगे लोग। बट एक कसारी मसारी का छोटा सा जंगल बाकी है जिसमें कब्रिस्तान है, that is known as graveyard कसारी मसारी। कसारी मसारी कब्रिस्तान, अतीक उसी कसारी मसारी में दफनाया गया। That story अतीक start from कसारी मसारी and end in कसारी मसारी। That's the story about कसारी मसारी। तो एक तो ये है। नेक्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट में 1857 का एक थ्रिल लिख रहा हूं। 1857 का
सिपाही म्यूटिनी के बारे में।
म्यूटिनी के दौरान एक फैंटम की कहानी लिख रहा हूं, एंड इट्स ओरिजिनल। एक फैंटम है, उस पर कहानी लिख रहा। इट्स ए ड्रामा हिस्टोरिकल थ्रिलर। ये है एक कहानी का टाइटल, समझ लीजिए कि वो आपकी कराची है। इट्स अ ट्रोजन हॉर्स। ट्रोजन हॉर्स वो एक कहानी है, यू कैन से लाइक एक्सप्लोडिंग मैंगो टाइप, हनी या एक्सप्लोडिंग मैंगो वो है। और एक बनारस की जो मैथोलॉजी है, उस मैथोलॉजी को बनारस की क्रिमिनोलॉजी से जोड़ के एक मैरिज है, दैट इज नोन एज राजा बनारस। इट्स कमिंग स्टोरी।
Just can't wait to read all these books. Yeah.
और आप लोग पढ़िएगा जरूर। ये पहले बता दूं, टाइटल इसीलिए बता के।
Okay, now let's throw this session open to the house, and if you have any questions, I'm sure you have plenty of for any query. Yeah.
Come forward.
Please let us know your name before you ask your question.
हेलो सर, मेरा नाम निखिल यादव है एंड मैं आपसे पहली बात मतलब मैं आपसे आपकी अभी तक बातें मैंने सुनी तो मैं बहुत ज़्यादा प्रभावित हुआ आपकी बातों से। और मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि हमारा जो देश है इंडिया, भारत जिसे हम कहते हैं, ये राइटर्स की धरती है।
Please keep your question short, हाँ सबको पूछना, just ask the question, observation नहीं।
वहीं से, लेकिन जैसे हमारे यहाँ राइटर्स ने बहुत सारी चीजें, जैसे सत्यवती, महाभारत में जो एक कैरेक्टर है सत्यवती, आप उनसे कभी हेट नहीं कर सकते, और वो एक थ्रिलिंग कैरेक्टर थे, हर इसमें एक थ्रिल का पेज था हर इसमें, वो क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या मूवमेंट है। उनके बाद जैसे ही आगे जाते हैं एक नया कैरेक्टर क्रिएट हो जाता है शकुनी।
क्वेश्चन प्लीज क्विकली।
तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि इसी पे बेस पे अभी जैसे जनरेशंस के लिए 30 सेकंड्स पे सब कुछ आ गया है, अभी सबसे बेस्ट वे उनको समझाने का है हिस्ट्री के लिए, जैसे पॉलिटिशियंस हमारे समझाते हैं, वो हिस्ट्री को तोड़ मरोड़ देंगे और उसके बाद लोगों के सामने पेश करेंगे।
If you don't ask a question, I'm going to stop you, please. बहुत जल्दी करो, बाकी को भी पूछना।
तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आज की जनरेशन के लिए जो बुक से अलग है और 30 सेकंड्स की रील्स पे आ चुके हैं, आप इनको कैसे उसी जगह पर वो थ्रिल दे सकेंगे जो इनको बांध कर रख सके 1 घंटे के लिए या 1.5 घंटे के लिए, जो मूवी हो या बुक हो उसके लिए।
ये जो आप जो सवाल पूछे ना, ये बम्बई में जो सारे राइटर्स हैं जो स्टूडियोज में बैठे रहते हैं, प्रोडक्शन वाले बैठे, मेरे जैसे मैं भी वहां पर बैठता हूँ, राइटर्स रूम में बैठता हूँ, इसी सवाल को लेकर हम भी जूझते रहते हैं कि ये कहानी जो है आधे घंटे की कहानी 25 मिनट में कैसे बताएं, 25 मिनट की कहानी 20 मिनट में कैसे बताएं, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि हम जितने जल्दी कहानियां बता सकें उतनी ज्यादा बेनिफिट हो। इसका कोई अभी तक मुझे लग नहीं रहा है कि किसी को कोई जवाब मिला, मतलब हाँ मुझे नहीं लग रहा है, लेकिन कोशिश जारी है। हम ये ट्राई तो जरूर करते हैं कि कैसे जितने कम टाइम में कहानियां लोगों को बताई जाए, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि वक्त कम है, लेकिन क्या उसका क्या सुझाव है, क्या मतलब अभी हमें भी कोई ऐसे कोई एक फॉर्मूला अभी तक हमारे सामने नहीं है। तो हाँ,
एक छोटी सी बात मैंने कहना, आप रील्स को लेकर बहुत परेशान मत होइए, कंटेंट में दम होगा तो 3.5 घंटे की एनिमल भी देखी जाएगी, ठीक है, और कंटेंट में दम होगा तो 2 हफ्ते के अंदर गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर के 2 पार्ट भी आप देखोगे दायरे 3 घंटे के, ठीक है। तो आप बिल्कुल परेशान मत हो, कंटेंट को बनाना है। आपकी रील कैसे कह सकते हैं कि 30 सेकंड की, हम 3.5 घंटे की रील बना देंगे और आपको देखनी पड़ेगी। रील में दम होना चाहिए, चाहे वो 30 सेकंड की हो या 3 घंटे की।
Very true. Anybody else? Any other question? Yeah, quite a few hands. That girl at the back.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Urvi Deshpande. My question to the writers is कि जैसे आप psychological thrillers लिखते हैं, so does these contents, which whatever you are writing, have impact on your lifestyle, or you are not very much detached to attached to these novels or anything you are writing?
So yeah, that's a very interesting question. So when I'm writing, I read a lot about, so this book is about our freedom fighters, Nehru, Sardar Patel, B.P. Menon, Mountbatten. All of them are characters in the book, and a lot of other people as well. And I used to dream about them almost every night. I could see them speaking to me. And literally, at the end of the book, I felt like I had walked. कुछ कदम मैंने उनके साथ चले थे. I felt like I think I know them a little better, and I felt really privileged that I had walked with these great giants of our history. For a few, it was 5 years writing this book, but I felt like I had walked a few steps with them. So there's definitely, and I think I became more empathetic towards many of these characters because they worked under such immense pressure. I felt more grateful to be a free citizen of free India today, and the way I looked at my past, my history, everything definitely had a shift. But in terms of the thrillers you write in fiction, I don't know, they will be able to answer better, but writing historical non-fiction thriller definitely had an impact because I was constantly thinking of these people, I was dreaming about them. I actually felt like they become friends, like they were people in my life. So that was a nice feeling to get to know them better.
मतलब छोटी सी बात है केवल कि अगर रामायण है तो वाल्मीकि डकैत नहीं है ना, फिर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट कि वो डकैत भी एक मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम हो जाता है और उस कैरेक्टर को सोचता है, ठीक है। तो हम जब लिखते हैं, जो थ्रिलर की बात चल रही है, साइकोलॉजिकल थ्रिलर, इस थ्रिलर में हमको हर कैरेक्टर बनना पड़ता है, क्योंकि सबसे बड़ी बात है कि थ्रिलर में ना कोई व्हाइट है ना कोई ब्लैक है। ये व्हाइट उधर से चलता है, ब्लैक इधर से चलता है, और दोनों जब मिल जाते हैं ग्रे हो जाता है। सारे थ्रिलर्स में जो भी कैरेक्टर्स है ज्यादातर ग्रे है। किसी के भी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से एक कातिल है, एक मर्डरर है, उसका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू व्हाइट हो सकता है। फॉर पुलिस इट मे बी ब्लैक, बट ऑल कैरेक्टर्स आर ग्रे, और हमें उन ग्रे कैरेक्टर से मोहब्बत होती है। और मुझे लगता है ग्रे कैरेक्टर से अच्छा कोई कैरेक्टर ही नहीं है। अगर ग्रे कैरेक्टर नहीं है तो सर कोई कहानी नहीं पैदा होगी, कोई कहानी नहीं पैदा होगी। अगर व्हाइट कलर कैरेक्टर राम के सामने इतना बड़ा चैलेंज नहीं होता, ब्लैक के कलर में रावण हुआ, तो फिर ना बाली की हत्या होती, ना केकई होती, ना मारीच होता, भीष्म पितामह भी नहीं होते। वो भी
Great insight, sir. Yes, you had a question, Alicia.
I think
Yeah, I think it is sort of related to what you said. Sorry, my name is Apsita Khan, and I wanted to ask, when creating, say, an antagonist or even a villain, do you prefer people who have clear motives, or they should be ambiguous and unsettling? Like, for example, when Alfred said to Bruce, like, some people don't want anything logical like money, they just want to see the world burn. So, I sort of think I know your answer because you prefer grey characters, but still.
I must add one thing to that, but when you're creating a story, your characters have to be driven by something. Without your characters, see, there is plot and there is character. Okay, plot influences character, character influences plot. So there is something that happens. There is a change in the character's status quo. The character reacts to that change. Plot moves forward. That creates another. So it's a domino effect. So you have to have, whenever there is a starting point, somebody starts something. That's the start of a domino chain. Okay. So your characters have to have motives. One character wants something. Another character doesn't want that person to get it. Or that another character wants the same thing. So as long as you've got motivation, you want a car. I want to sleep. No conflict. You want a car. I want the same car. Conflict. You want a car. I don't want people to drive cars. Conflict. So clear motivation has to exist in storytelling. If you don't have motivation, you do not get story. Basically.
Just add to that. So definitely the grey that he mentioned is very important. I think it is a part of Indian storytelling. All the examples that he gave. Yudhishthir, for example, is one of the protagonists of the Mahabharata. But he's a virtuous character, but he has a weakness for gambling. He gambles his own wife. Yeah. So it shows the grey in the character is what makes him interesting. Bhishma Pitama is a doyen of virtue, but he sees the Vastraharan right in front and doesn't stop it. Right. So I think Indic storytelling, it has a lot of these elements. This idea of a hero wants to save the world and the villain wants to destroy the world. Spider-Man, Superman, Marvel series. I think it's a very Western template of storytelling. And our storytelling has always had, Ravan was a great Bhakt of Shiva. Ravan was a great Veena player. He was knowledgeable. And he is the most famous antagonist of our stories. And he has so many virtues as well. So I think this grey is actually what brings out the beauty of any story. So in
all the narratives have layers and layers.
Always have these layers. So the antagonist in this is actually Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And if you see our movies, he'll be portrayed as this evil person. All Pakistanis for some reason are portrayed as evil people. I mean, they're just people like us, and we want Kashmir, they want Kashmir for themselves, right? So put yourself in their shoes and see the story from their point of view. That is when the conflict builds. So I try to do that, although I'm conditioned to think as an Indian. In this story, in the chapters that I talk about Jinnah and talk about the Pakistani angle, it is from their point of view. And I think that builds a tension more if you see it from diverse points of view.
I just want to very quickly add, the interesting thing was my book Karachi Deception. So there's this publisher in Pakistan called Liberty Books. I don't know from somewhere they procured some 100 copies of the book. I don't even know why. Okay, so they procured it. So I've actually got readers from Karachi and Lahore and Islamabad. So a lot of them, and some of them reached out to me on Facebook. Some of them have spoken about, on Goodreads.
Pakistan also has a very flourishing piracy market for.
They do, no, but this was not my intent. This was actually they got it. And so the interesting thing is a lot of Pakistanis, the readers who read it, said that we thought this would be another India propaganda piece, but it is not. Okay, because again, as I said, the chief of the ISI, you see him, he's constantly got a cold, and he always uses mixed apron. No, that's a problem. We think he's a bad guy, so he'll be eating, holding a gun and sitting in his hand. No, he has mixed apron because he's got a cold. He's like you and me. So I think that's really what it is. It's about how do you humanize these people. I think that's what it is.
कुल मिला के कंक्लूजन ये है, यहाँ सबके सब विलेन है, यहाँ सबके सब विलेन है, और यहाँ जो सबसे बड़ा विलेन है वही कहानी का हीरो है.
One absolute just last question. Then what? Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk.
So I'm Amaya, and I want to ask, I'm doing my bachelor's and I write stories too. So how can I capitalize this, keeping engineering as a first preference for me?
You just have to write. There is no other way you can. The only way you write is you get better is by writing and by reading. So the more you read and the more you write, you get better. And it's going to be difficult finding the time to balance your studies and your work and all of that. But I think whether it's Chetan Bhagat, Ravi Subramanian, you take the biggest writers in the world. They have all started by balancing their work life and their passion. This starts off as passion. For me, it has ended up now. This is my livelihood. I write for a living.
If I may add something, the name of Stephen King came up a couple of times. Stephen King is one of the most voracious writers you can ever imagine, readers you can ever imagine. Alright, so the more you read, the more you realize what writing is all about.
A lot of writers in the West, for example, are actually teachers and professors in their daytime job. That's what they do. That's where, because writing, you can't earn and lead a lifestyle with the kind of monies that you make out of writing alone. That's not good. So you will always need to have a full-time job. So don't abandon engineering. Keep all of that in place. Yeah. Lawyering, engineering, whatever you're doing, do that. Don't abandon that. Don't be stupid like me. I quit my job and started writing. That was a stupid thing to do. Never do that. So just do what you're doing. If you do, then you become great. If you become like Kafka, then you're great.
Okay, friends, we have run absolutely out of time. Please give it up for our wonderful panelists. Great insights, fabulous insights. And may the dead bodies keep coming. May the find-outers find out what the crime is, and may the nightmares never stop. Alright, so the more the merrier, bring them on. Right? Thank you once again. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.